This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, everyone, wherever you are watching right now. So thank you for tuning in to another episode of INC Radio New York. I am Sister Abigail Hidalgo, your host for today's episode. And we're going to talk about our topic for today is our favorite hobbies. So I know in the month of January, it's considered National Hobby Month. So we're going to discuss our favorite hobbies. So those who are tuned in the chat, please let us know what are your favorite hobbies. It can be, from watching your K-drama or you're running or whatnot. So just let us know your favorite hobbies and why you like doing it and how often you do it. And or have a lovely discussion in the chat. Share what kind of tips or what things you like to do, and maybe someone who's tuning in can be inspired on picking up those hobbies. But before we get into it, we'll start off with our hashtag challenge. Thank you for tuning in last week. I know it was just Brother Christian and Brother JR. And we're slowly trickling in from the INC Radio family here in the District of New York. But we're going to announce those who are the top local congregations for our hashtag challenge last week. Starting with number 3 is Londonderry. I know Sister Christy is from the local congregation or the Group Worship Service extension of Londonderry. Congratulations. You are very active every single week, and you are number 3 for hashtag challenge last week. And for number 2, still keeping it in the New England region, the local congregation of Boston. And I know Sister Maricel, that used to be my old congregation back in the day. So congratulations to the local congregation of Boston. And number 1 is Belmore. So congratulations to Belmore. And we also want to recognize those who are our top hashtaggers. Our number 3 is Sister Ann from the local congregation of Westchester. Congratulations, Sister Ann. So hopefully I can see your name in the chat. Maybe towards the end or, throughout the show. Number 2 is Sister Rewa Thompson from the local congregation of Belmore. And our top hashtagger is Sister Maricel. Congratulations to those who always participate, always tune in to our show every single week. We do appreciate you, and we love reading your comments and, having a good conversation in our YouTube live chat. So as we mentioned earlier, our question of the day or our topic of today is our favorite hobbies. So please, in the chat, hopefully I'll be able to filter through. Tell us what your favorite hobby is to do, and we'll read it throughout the show. Okay, so next on our agenda is our upcoming activities. January is, the first month of the year, so we have a lot of upcoming activities this coming weekend. For the Kadiwa, those who are 18 and older, baptized and not married, we have something different. Our Kadiwa meeting will be through online, and it will be tomorrow at 6 p.m. So please contact your Kadiwa officers for the link. We hope to see you online and see all your lovely faces. And I know we'll benefit from the topic, about the topic that we will receive tomorrow. Also, this weekend throughout the district, we'll have a winter clothing drive today and tomorrow. So, you can, we talk about spring cleaning. Now it could be, winter cleaning, those old, gently used winter clothes like jackets, sweaters, scarves, gloves that, no longer fit, no longer your style. Get those out, bring it to wherever your local congregation is collecting it, so that we can donate to those who are in need for this coming winter season. Also for the CWS, this today actually, are the children's worship service. They will get active, and they'll have their exercise activity. It'll be today, right after the show at 11 a.m. So, we like to get physically active, physically fit. So it's something to do. It's not, it's kind of cold. So sometimes going outside can't be the option. But at least we can learn some, exercise that we can do indoors. And upcoming next weekend, I believe the CBI, or the Christian Brotherhood International, will hold a team building activity, and this will be done by region. It'll be on January 21st at 6 p.m. And the sites will be Forest Hills, Rockland, Rochester, Boston, and Bristol. So contact your local congregation or your regional CBI officers for further details if you would like to join in this activity. Having activities such as this will, strengthen the brethren. You can invite your friends to join in. There's always something to learn and improve on ourselves for these activities. So I know there's more exciting things that can happen in the next coming of weeks. So keep your eyes and ears open to your CFO officers for further upcoming activities. But before we get into our main topic, if Kuya Tech can play us out for a station break.
You are listening to Iglesia ni Cristo Radio, the voice of truth.
Our parents love us unconditionally. They give pieces of advice every now and then. They always encourage us to do our best. They teach us to be faithful to God. Come and join us as we proudly share to you the various lessons learned from our parents. This Sunday, January 14, 2024, 7 o'clock p.m. New Zealand Daylight Time, 2 o'clock p.m. Philippine Time, here on INCRadio New Zealand Satellite Studio. Kakitian no.
Kindness is a behavior marked by acts of generosity, consideration, and rendering assistance or showing concern for others without expecting praise or reward in return. But why is kindness important? Tune in to INC Radio Caribbean this Saturday, January 13 at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time and join our conversation on practicing kindness. Share your thoughts and kindness stories in our live chat while remain active as you join our hashtag challenge.
Tune in and have a meaningful weekend with us here on INC Radio Caribbean.
Last week, we talked about goals for self-improvement, and one of our goals is to be more healthy. Aside from being physically active, one of the ways of being healthy is to eat healthy foods. Share your healthy eating tips with us this Sunday, January 14th at 6 p.m. Central European Time and Monday, January 15th at 1 a.m. Philippine Standard Time on INC Radio Italy North Satellite Studio. Ci vediamo!
Subscribe to the official YouTube channel of INC Radio DZEM 954.
And welcome back to INC Radio New York. I was just catching up on the YouTube live chat and all your comments. I see a lot of hashtags from Woodbury, Albany, Long Island City. I even saw Westchester, Woodside Extension, Boston, Londonderry. I see Sister Mariah and Brother Ivan, our CFO advisor, promoting the CWS exercise activity, which if I were a CWS still, I would definitely join. I need some motivation, to get active or start exercising. Sometimes in the wintertime, you just kind of, are slowing down. You want to stay warm, keep under the covers. You're not as active. So get your children up and ready and get moving for the, for the CWS activity. But before we go on to our main topic, again, please let us know your favorite hobbies to do, whether it be winter, year round, or spring, summer, anything that you would like to share, your favorite hobbies. Please let us know in the chat. But we'll read some comments and some greetings. We'll start with Brother Alvin Dolente. Is like, my hobby is playing chess and also watching movies. I know those are pretty popular. There's a couple brethren in my local congregation that have their chess app. And they play with other people around the world, and you can sharpen your skills, and it's very active for your mind. And I know those things can go on for hours, so that's something to exercise your mind and keep your brain active. And watching movies is also good. I know there's a lot of movies out there that are pretty interesting. I know I was away for a couple of weeks, and I spent most of my time on the airplane watching movies. So those, just to catch up on those kind of things. And there are also conversations started. It's like, have you seen this recent movie? So that's good. That's also another good hobby. We have Sister Luz Alvaro. Good morning, Paul, New York. Greetings from Livermore, Northeast California. I tune on INC Radio randomly. New York happened to be what's on live. Thank you again, Sister Luz, for tuning in. Again, share our link to your fellow local congregation or your brethren or anyone you want to share to tune into our episode. We also have Sister Jeanne. Uh, Hello, Paul, watching from INC Radio Northern Europe satellite studio, and she's from Finland. I hope the weather there is not too cold. I know Finland is kind of north. You probably have some snow. We just had a snowstorm recently in the New England region or even the New York region. And it's been warm, like in the 40s or 50s, and it's all melted. So it was kind of a short-lived snowstorm. And then we have Brother Sheridan Santos. Good morning to everyone. And Brother Ivan is hashtagging Rockland. And I think what else? Just trying to filter through hashtag Rockland. And we have Sister Maricel. Nice to see you on the chat. Sister Christy, Sister Ann. She said her favorite hobby is writing and designing. Oh wow, that's great. I always struggled with writing and designing. You must have a very creative mind. We would love to see your designs and maybe read some of your writing if you're willing to share. So hopefully I can see other other comments filtering through. So again, I'll try to keep up. So I apologize in advance if I don't read your comments. But enough of me reading and chatting away. We'll go on to our main topic. So every year in the month of January, people in the United States or the US celebrate National Hobby Month, as we mentioned earlier. And hobbies, as we know, are personal activities we do in our spare time, or sometimes not in our spare time because, we're stressed out or whatnot, but we just like to do our hobbies. And sometimes our hobbies are our career, which is great. They can serve as outlets for our creativity, our self-expression, and stress relief. So we'll discuss on today's show our favorite hobbies and why they are important to us. So again, don't forget, as we've been mentioning before, the hashtag challenge, and we'll see who will be the number one spot for next week, and we'll announce it next week, and who will be our top hashtagger. So we mentioned some people's favorite hobbies, like Sister Ann, writing, designing. There's chess. There's watching movies. I know some other hobbies are reading. I've been into like listening to podcasts and also even listening to audiobooks because sometimes we can't sit still. So on my long drives, I just pick a book on my audio app, and then we'll just listen to like 30 minutes of a good book. Sometimes I space out, so then I have to rewind to re-listen to the passage. And that's, I guess, one of the other hobbies I like to do. Sometimes if you're musically talented, I know a lot of brethren or a lot of people like to play their instrument. Some people play the piano as a stress reliever. Some people compose music with a piano, guitar, or they like invite their friends over and create a band. I know in Bristol we have a great band. If those who've seen our Songs of Salvation by the Kadiwa, we had a guitar. I think we had two guitars and a drummer, and I believe they if they have time, they come together and like jam, play whatever music they want to play, create their music. So that's another hobby that you can also include. It doesn't have to be a solo endeavor. Even though if you want to do something solo with creating music, you can, but you can also invite your friends to kind of play along with you. um, I know like playing sports is also another great hobby that you can do by yourself, like such as like practicing your basketball skills. If you want to play tennis, you can have someone who plays tennis, or you can teach them to play tennis. I know another popular racket sport is like pickleball. It's something similar to tennis, but it's like more like a wiffle ball, and it's a bigger paddle and a lower net. I know that's like you can join leagues, you can have lessons. You can also swim. And another fun outdoor activity that people like to do for hobbies is hiking. Um, so it's the winter here, but sometimes it's warm enough, or some people even hike in the wintertime. They can do snowshoeing if you're into that. Cross country skiing is also pretty popular. Um, Other outdoor activities, if the lake is frozen enough, some people like to do ice skating on a frozen pond or frozen lake, but you just have to kind of check with your town to make sure that it's thick enough for you to go on. But there's indoor ice skating rinks that you can learn how to do ice skating. There's people like to be active for your hobbies. Some things that hobbies can become careers. Like some people like to do video editing, vlogs, capturing their everyday life, and then like edit it and make it nice, and then post it on any kind of social media platforms. And some people can make a living off of that, which is very creative. And I give kudos to those who have uh, that bravery, I guess, to put themselves out there, and then you can have a career such as that. Like photography is also pretty popular. That something that you can do as a hobby. As we mentioned in our intro, it's a way of a stress relief, something that you can learn, something that you can be creative, something that you can, have some type of self improvement. So those are like some hobbies that some people can do. Let's just see in the chat what other hobbies that brethren are commenting. There's a full-on conversation saying hello to everyone. That's great. Also, the hashtag challenge is going on its way, so we'll calculate those results for next week's show. We have Brother Harry Davis, hashtag Albany, Sister Liberty Sabino, hashtag Forest Hills. Brother Ronaldo says, I like playing video games. I know that's a pretty popular thing for like video games, even computer games. I know there's different types of video games out there. You can, I don't want to misspeak, but I know you can play with other people. I know back in the day, we had a video game console that a lot of brethren would play like 4 player, and they play each other. And then I know online you can play with each other and whatnot. So that's a good thing to like meet people. And I know people can play that for hours on end. So try to also manage your time with that. You don't want to be stuck in doing your hobbies for long periods of time that you forget to also do your other responsibilities, and have your parents be upset with you because you didn't do your homework, or you're missing other stuff. So hobbies are great to do, but always have some type of moderation, so you also have time for your other responsibilities as well. Sister Lou says, my hobby is cooking. I see yummy recipes, I try, experiment on it too. Like this pasta recipe that she saw in INC Radio Italy South. It looked pretty easy to make, and I went for it. And it's pasta genovese. That seems interesting. There's a lot of things on social media, like easy tips and tricks to cook. Um, I am not very great at cooking. And sometimes I just call it experimenting. And, like people also do cake decorating, cupcakes, baking stuff. So those are also fun activities to do. And you can always share it with other people. It's like, hey, I created this new thing. Do you want to try it and whatnot? And let's see, singing karaoke. Yes, I see that. We have Sister Susan Mercado, greetings both from Wyndham and hashtag Boston. We have Sister Cheyenne, hashtag Woodbury. And yeah, thank you for again commenting. You know, we can also talk about, we have all these hobbies. We like to do it. We like to share it. We like to do it with also other people. And there's also some importance of these hobbies. In our research, we found that hobbies can be a positive impact on our life. It enriches our lives. It makes us a well-rounded person. It's like something to do. It keeps your mind, your body active, and like, so you won't be like bored at home and just sitting around. You can do something productive with your free time. Not only you can scroll through social media, you can watch videos, but you can find a hobby that can make you a better person, or make your mind more active, and make you a well-rounded person, and also share those hobbies or your talents to those um, uh, out in the world, or to your friends, or to your family. So, it's not necessarily a bad thing to have a hobby. It's always, just again, be mindful that it doesn't interfere with your everyday life, your other responsibilities. But, it keeps you active, keeps you de-stress. Some people do hobbies to kind of de-stress. And so you won't get too anxious or too, um, stressed out about what's going on. So it's good to have hobbies. It's good to share your hobbies, like we mentioned before, especially when you have a hard day at work or at school. You just don't want to do your homework. You don't want to like deal with other responsibilities. You can spend like 30 minutes or an hour like playing video games, playing that chess game, or read that book, or listen to that, go on a hike, or working out, like lifting those weights. That's something to improve on yourself, both mentally and physically. So those are, things to be mindful of when you're even considering taking up another hobby, if you don't have one that you're really passionate about. There's also links to having great for like your mental health, lowers anxiety and stress levels. So those are some things that are important when you have a hobby. So that's kind of basically it for our topic today. I know it was just kind of me blabbing out to to everyone, but yeah, pick up those hobbies, share those talents. Let us know. Even next week's show, if you want to still discuss about your favorite hobbies, keep us updated on what you have been doing this past week. Like, oh, I read this really good book, or hey, like Sister Luz from California, she mentioned that she tried this pasta recipe. So let us know if you tried something, a new dish that you cooked, And maybe we can also try it out as well on our own time. Um, uh, so I guess that's kind of it for our discussion. We thank you once again for tuning in. Thank you for those who have been hashtagging and making comments. I apologize that I wasn't able to keep up, but I see Sister Lonnie, Brother Warren, Sister Cheyenne. I mentioned her earlier. Sister Christy, always tuning in every single week. Sister Marcel, Sister Kimberly, and yes, we'll recognize you next week, for those who are the top hashtaggers, and the local congregations, the top three hashtag congregations. But yep, that's all for our show today. Thank you for again tuning in. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you to the church administration for continuing to giving us a platform like this to share and speak about interesting topics like these. Don't forget to tune in next week, next Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time and 11:30 p.m. Philippine Time. And greetings to our district staff, our station manager, our executive producer, and main studio techs, especially to our district minister, Brother Sheridan Santos, our assistant district minister, Brother Neil Patrick Omelda, and our CFO advisor, Brother Ivan Diaz. That brings us to the end of our show. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and have a good night.